Hey guys, it's Trevy the Great here again with another battle report. This time we're doing some Warhammer Fantasy Battles. We are pitting the noble and virtuous and absolutely awesome in every way Lizardmen versus the conniving and evil Chaos Demons. This is a 2,250 point game that is going to play with my Slann Mage Priest versus my opponent's just undivided army of Warhammer Fantasy Chaos Demon dudes. This is versus is a relatively new player, but you don't really have to be new to excel at Warhammer Fantasy. Basically, we're just throwing down, putting a bunch of units on the table, throwing them at each other, and seeing who dies first, which is, in all honesty, how you should play Warhammer Fantasy. There is really no other way to do that. So what I am running in my army today is 2 units of 24 Saurus Warriors with spears and full command. They are the staple of every one of my lists, just about. I love them. They anchor my flanks, and they stab things with their pokey sticks. They are flanking a big unit of 26 Temple Guard full command with my Slann Mage Priest in there, who has the Focused Rumination, the Focus of Mystery, the Cupped Hands of the Old Ones, and the Bane Head. And obviously, he's cursing my opponent's Bloodthirster, which we'll get to in a moment. I also have 2 Ancient Stegodons, I believe, to basically just act as deterrents for my opponent. If he charges in, I'm going to get some sweet Strength 6 impact hits on him and hopefully kill a bunch of his guys. They can also kill enemies at short range with their little shooty blowpipes. Strength 3, 46 shots. Poisoned with Ballistic Skill 3 is very, very nice at 12 inches. I also have 3 units of 5 Chameleon Skinks, because they're fun, they move fast, they shoot their little blowpipes, and they're freaking annoying, and my opponent has to deal with them, or else they'll kill his things. In my opponent's army, he's taking 2 units of Demonettes. I don't remember whether they have command or not. They're units of 10 Demonettes, hanging out, running around, being annoying, chomping their little clappity claws, and dancing. He also has a unit of 20 Pink Horrors of Tzeentch with a Herald of Tzeentch in there, level 2 Herald of Tzeentch with the ability that gives him the Lore Master, and he took Lore of Death, obviously, because Purple Sun of Xerius is super awesome versus Lizardmen. My Slann has Lore of Light, by the way, because Lore of Light is awesome against Chaos Demons, so look how that works. My opponent also has a unit of 10 Slaaneshi Cavalry. I think they're called Seekers? Yes, that sounds right. Seekers of Slaanesh. He also has a unit of 10 Bloodletters, a Bloodthirster with a bunch of really nasty things. He's got the Infinite Hatred ability. He's got, I don't even know. He just, what he touches, he generally dies. And he's also got a big unit of 20 Bloodletters, full command, back and everything up there just to beat face with big swords. Note about my opponent's army, it's very nicely painted. Not all the way painted yet, but very nice what he has painted. So I encourage you all to take a look as I'm going through the battle report as some of his models. They are very, very cool looking. So it was great to put some painted models down on the table. Unfortunately, my Lizardmen aren't all the way painted. Not even close. But I don't spend a lot of time playing Warhammer Fantasy, so unfortunately I don't spend a lot of time painting Warhammer Fantasy. So that's too bad, because the game looks exponentially better when everything's painted. But there you go. So here's the deployment before the first turn. We got all my stuff castling up in the right-hand corner there. My Skinks on the left, just to be annoying. My opponent's deployed his Demonettes over there to counter the Skinks. And then he's got his Bloodthirster, his Bloodletters, his Pink Horrors, his Seekers, everything in the middle. The Seekers have moved up. They're next to that sort of copse of trees on the right-hand side there. And they are ready to get some charging in and hopefully just be super annoying on turn 1. Okay, this is bottom of round 1. Things have happened. Stuff has died. All the hallmarks of a great game of Warhammer Fantasy. So what's happened here is basically, I don't remember who went first. I've been sort of sitting on this battle report for a little while, so it's been a couple weeks since I played this game. I can't seem to remember who took the first turn. I think I did. Maybe. No, my opponent did. My opponent took the first turn. He moved his stuff up. He moved up his Demonettes over there on the left-hand side. On the right-hand side, he charged in with his Seekers, moved up, repositioned his Bloodletter to get some charges off next turn, and generally just shuffled his guys forward. In the Magic phase, his Herald of the Tzeentch cast Purple Sun at my Saurus Warriors over there on the right, the unit leftmost unit of Spearsaurus. That went right through the unit, killed 8 or 9 of them. Purple Sun sucks, by the way. And that was really annoying, and I hate it. Other than that, not a lot happened. The Seekers ran themselves onto the halberds of the Temple Guard. They didn't all die, only a couple of them died, but they will be probably crushed in the next in my turn. My turn, I sort of maneuvered everything, redeployed a little bit. The Stegodon on the left-hand side there moved over and to try to shoot at the who do you call it? The Demonettes. Didn't. I think I was out of range. The 2 units of Chameleon Skinks did move over and just waste the Demonettes, killed a whole bunch of them. So I think there's only 4 left at this point. So those poor Demonettes just getting annihilated by poison. I think I rolled pretty well on the poison. And then killed a bunch more Seekers in the combat in the middle, and just sort of shuffled my guys around a little bit more over to the right-hand side to block off my opponent's charging a little bit and make it take a little bit longer for him to get over there. But other than that, not too exciting. So this is the end of my opponent's round 2, I believe. More things have happened. My opponent was able to cast, well, first of all, he charged in with his Bloodthirster into my Saurus over there. Did a bunch of wounds with his attacks, a little more Thunderstomp. Actually, he didn't do too many wounds because I was able to challenge him out with my champion. He couldn't decline because he is a Bloodthirster and he doesn't have a unit to hide in. Besides Bloodthirster, declining a challenge from a little lowly champion of the Lizardmen, he wouldn't decline anyway. So he annihilated the Lizardmen guy in a shower of gore. Last turn I was able to get a couple of spells off. I think I got the Protection spell off, which gives my opponent -1 to hit. And then I got, I think, the Initiative 10, Weapon Skill 10 spell off on my other unit of Spearsaurus to stop the Bloodletter from charging in over there. So the Bloodletter charged in on the left-hand unit there. So he charged in, annihilated that one Saurus and killed a couple with Thunderstomp. But the unit had 1 rank, so it was steadfast, and they just held up. My opponent cast the Withering, I want to say, on the Stegodon there on the left hand side. He's so he's at -1 strength and toughness. I think that's the one I'm thinking of. It was some debuff anyway. Not too impressive, just because the Stegodon wasn't really going to do anything anyway. Just shoot at the Demonettes, and the Chameleons were pretty much left unharmed. The Demonettes just continued to chase after them fruitlessly. Those little Chameleons are pretty slippery. Thankfully, the Purple Sun didn't really scatter anywhere important, just sort of hanging out in the back there, which I'm okay with. So let's go on to my turn 2. So here is the bottom of round 2. As you can see, more things are happening. It's all very exciting. Here's the big old Balrog Bloodthirster in there. Got flanked by my unit of Temple Guard. The Stegodon went to charge that unit of 10 Bloodletters in the front there. I knew the Stegodon was probably going to get held up, probably take a couple of wounds from that, but I really wanted to block off that unit in the back there from being able to charge into the flank of my Temple Guard. Because that unit's in the way, and it will probably take a turn or two for that combat to be over. I don't think the unit behind them could really get forward, so I tried to hold them up as long as possible. And best case scenario, the Stegodon wipes them out and overruns into the Bloodletters and does a little more impact hits before it dies. So that's all well and good. I think I cast the -1 to hit spell again with the Slann. I rolled pretty badly on the Winds of Magic, so I wasn't able to get too many spells off, but we did have some spell slinging going on. On the left-hand side, it's off the picture right now, but the Chameleons went off and shot a bunch of the Demonettes in the second unit of Demonettes, so did a couple wounds over there. I was rolling pretty average at this point. I rolled really well at turn 1, killed a bunch of them, but now I'm killing 2 or 3, I think. And then the Stegodon lit up the depleted unit of Demonettes, and I believe wiped it out. So 1 unit of Demonettes down, 1 to go, and the Stegodon's looking pretty good. The Bloodletter already took, I think, 2 wounds because I was able to cast some Banishing on it, which does a bunch of strength 4 hits. Now, it doesn't sound like very much, but it is 3d6 hits if I hit a demon with it. If I roll a 6 and then he fails, he only has 5+ armor and 5+ ward. So if he fails his armor and his ward saves, he takes 2 wounds because he's cursed by the Banehead. So he has taken 2 wounds, and he's basically just held up by challenging champions at this point. Okay, so things get a little blurry here in my head. Things are pretty blurry in my head already, but this, like I said, this was a couple weeks ago, and things are even more blurry. But I think that this is a turn later. I might be entirely incorrect about that. But anyway, what's going on is that the Bloodletter's taken a couple wounds. He's killed both of the champions in the units he's in. Sorry, the Bloodthirster is killed both the champions of the units he's fighting, and what is now just grinding those units down. They're able to get 1 or 2 wounds off on him, and I think he's down to 1 or 2 wounds at this point. So he's not looking too strong. What I was hoping to do was be able to finish him off with combat res or either just weight of attacks, but it hasn't been working out so far. But at least he's not there rampaging around killing my Stegodons or whatever. I think what happened was that the Stegodon that charged the unit of Bloodletters in front of the other unit didn't kill them turn 1, and then the second round of combat, it wiped them out, but it was too late for my opponent to charge. So then in my turn 4, I think it would be, 3 or 4, he charged in to the Bloodletter, the second unit of Bloodletters, and did a bunch of damage to them. That's what I'm choosing to believe happened. Otherwise, the Chameleons are running around, running in circles with the what do you call it? The Demonettes, just making a nuisance of themselves and being annoying, while we had a couple bad Winds of Magic rolls, and the Pink Horrors are just basically shooting off spells every once in a while, but mainly debuffing the Stegodons to stop them from charging in and doing a lot of damage. But other than that, not really accomplishing much. Okay, so this is 1 or 2 turns later. Like I said, everything's a little fuzzy at this point. But what has finally happened is that the Bloodthirster has slowly but surely whittled down the Temple Guard to a little bloody pulp. There's 1 or 2 Temple Guard left, as well as the Slann. So I think there's just enough Temple Guard to make a front rank in front of the Slann, so the Slann can't be targeted in combat, but not really enough to really accomplish much. So if they get charged, they're all gonna die. The Bloodletters ended up wiping out the Stegodon over there on the right. Stegodon on the left moved up, got range onto the Pink Horrors, charged them, and have been steadily grinding them down with stomp attacks. That 4+ ward save makes the Pink Horrors a great tar pit unit, because even though they're only toughness 3, weapon skill 3, they go down pretty easily, but 50% of those casualties are just going to be ignored by their crazy awesome ward saves. So I was rolling stomps pretty badly, he was rolling ward saves pretty well, and it took me a little while to get the unit down to where it is, but I think I eventually stopped it from being a spellcaster after all that. And I think that the Demonettes were killed by the Chameleons eventually, but I don't remember. Yeah, I believe that happened. The Chameleons just kept running around and making nuisances of themselves until the Demonettes eventually decided to stop living and just die. So they were annoyed to death by the Chameleons, which happens quite a bit. So let's go on to the next turn. So this is going to be the last photo of the game. This was a pretty epic moment. As you can see, the Lizardmen are just closing the gap onto the Demons. The Demons were just overwhelmed by hordes of vicious Lizardmen warriors. So eventually I was able to grind those units down and kill them. I think this is the bottom of turn 6, but what actually happened was the Stegodon, as you saw before, charged the Pink Horrors, and the Herald in the Pink Horrors unit was like, F that, I'm gonna stop this Stegodon, and he was, put his hands together and was like, Hadouken! And shot big old purple sun right through the Stegodon. Stegodon got sucked up by it, right through the Unitosaurus, killed 6 or 7 Saurus with that, right through the Temple Guard, hit the Slann, but he made his lookout, sir, or initiative test or something. No, he made his initiative test, didn't die, which is very good. He's worth a lot of points. But it sucked up enough Temple Guard for the Temple Guard to be reduced to 1 model. So that was, to my opponent's chagrin, that model was able to keep the, like 400 or so points that's locked up in that Temple Guard unit. The Saurus on the other side were able to come in and just, they got the Initiative 10 Weapon Skill 10 buff from the Slann, and were able to go in and just annihilate the Bloodletters in 1 or 2 rounds of combat. So there's a Herald of Khorne in that Bloodletter unit, and he's just fighting to the last. And I think he challenged my champion, but because my champion was weapon skill 10, initiative 10, my champion actually survived the challenge, and we're on to a second round of challenges, but the rest of his unit was slowly ground down by the weight of attacks from the Saurus. The Chameleons obviously wiped out all of the Demonettes, so they jumped up and down and did a little dance, and that was pretty much the end of the game. So Not a very tactical game. Obviously, Warhammer Fantasy isn't the most tactical game in general, but very good game to my opponent. It was fun to put two painted armies down to the table and have them duke it out, which I think is the strength of Warhammer Fantasy. It's visually appealing and very exciting. A lot of very cataclysmic. That's a good word. Cataclysmic die rolls. Winds of Magic wasn't particularly powerful in this one. It was in a couple of places, but we didn't get a lot of very powerful spells off, which I think is just how it should be. And it was just whose units were bigger and beefier, essentially. So, great game to my opponent. Had a lot of fun, and that's what the game is about. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this battle report. Sorry it wasn't that in depth, but like I said, this game was a while ago, and I don't really remember everything that happened. So I skipped a couple pictures and skipped a couple turns, but just because I wouldn't be able to comment about them. But like I said, hope you enjoyed. Great game to my opponent. Check out my channel for more sweet battle reports.